Do you trust God? Do you believe that He's got your back? That He's there for you? The reality is that sometimes we don't. But this is what the psalmist writes in Psalm 55, verses starting in verse 16. But I will call upon the God, and the Lord will rescue me. Morning, noon, and night, I plead aloud in my distress, and the Lord hears my voice. He rescues me and keeps me safe from the battle waged against me. I love those words. I really do. But the reality is that, I don't always believe them. I find myself sometimes in situations and I feel alone. I don't feel like God is there. I remember when I was reading this and I was journaling, I wrote that Lord, make this true in my life. Make my belief congruent with what your word says, what this psalmist wrote. But the problem is that I don't. I struggle with unbelief. I struggle with fear. I struggle with anxiety. Not that it overpowers me, but sometimes I'm not always sure what God is trying to do in my life. I'm not always sure the direction that I'm to walk in. So what do I do? Well, part of it, the answer to that is I believe that we are to confess the reality of where we are. Don't give up just because you're not there yet. In other words, tell God that, I know this is true, but I don't know as I believe it. Make my unbelief belief. The reality is that life is hard. Life is difficult. There are ups and downs in our lives that, don't make sense sometimes. And we wonder, how did I get here? But the point is, you are there. I'm there. I'm in that place, or I will be tomorrow. And the question is not where I'm at or how I got here, but what am I going to do with where I'm at? And I think that's the answer. Part of my endeavor to reinvent myself is to attack problems differently. That's one of the things that I'm doing. And what I'm learning is that not every problem has the same solution. Not every thought has the same outcome. And so my challenge to you and the challenge to myself is to take life and live it. When you're in a spot that you don't know what to do, admit it. Work within the reality of where you're at. Tell God what you're feeling. Tell Him what you're struggling with. You'll be surprised that sometimes what happens is that we come out of the fog and we see the sunlight. Think about that today, would you? Until next time, God bless.